At the age of 18, I caught my sister lifting up Eric Clarence's shirt hem and touching his abdominal muscles. The young man's shirt was loose, and he let her do as she pleased. At the age of 22, Eric listened to his family and married me. But everyone knew that even after getting married, he still couldn't let go of my sister, whom he loved passionately. Later, I filed for divorce. He was silent for a long time and then signed the divorce agreement. If you need any help in the future, don't hesitate to ask. At the age of 28, I came back to attend Eric and my sister's wedding. He looked at the man beside me menacingly. Was it for him that you were so eager to divorce me back then? Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. I heard that Hermosa is back. I remember it was she who filed for the divorce. Right. Now Eric is the person in charge of the Clarence family. I wonder if she regrets it. What's there to regret? She originally stole her sister's marriage. It's just a matter of returning things to their rightful owner. Just as I reached the door of the private room, I heard someone talking about me. Over the past 3 years, there have been many rumors about me in the outside world. They said that I was playing hard to get. Even my parents thought so. On the day of the divorce, my mother specifically told me, since you two are already divorced, don't contact each other anymore. Your sister has hurt her leg and really needs Eric right now. Don't provoke her. Seeing that I lowered my head and didn't speak, she added, this marriage was originally your sister's. If she hadn't gone abroad for further study, it wouldn't have been your turn. My sister Jessica and Eric were an enviable couple in the social circle. But on the eve of the wedding, Jessica fled from the wedding. At that time, the news of the marriage alliance between the two families had already been spread. Facing the pressure from the outside world, the elders of the Clarence family immediately decided to change the marriage partner to me. I don't know how they persuaded him, but Eric finally agreed to marry me. During the 3 years of our marriage, he and I were no different from an ordinary couple. But everyone knew that even after getting married, he hadn't let go of Jessica. He never allowed me to enter his study. Once he forgot to close the door, and I peeked through the crack. Instantly, I felt as if I had fallen into an ice cave. The walls of the study were covered with wedding photos of him and Jessica. I had never seen Eric like that before. His expression was vivid, doting, and focused. His heart and eyes were full of Jessica. That's when the idea of divorce first came to me. On the day I made up my mind to get a divorce, I accidentally heard him on the phone. He coaxed the person on the other end of the phone in a gentle voice. Yeah, don't be afraid. I'll be there in 10 minutes. You can't walk around. Wait for me and be good. The moment he turned around, he saw me. I said calmly, dinner is already ready. Eat before you leave. He only paused briefly and continued to walk out. You eat. Don't wait for me. When he was almost at the door, I called him again. There was a bit more impatience on his face. What is it, Eric? I said. Let's get a divorce. When the news of the divorce reached my parents, we had already signed the divorce agreement. Eric didn't treat me unfairly and gave me half of his family property. My parents called me home overnight. They questioned me like interrogating a criminal, asking me why I was so heartless to take half of Eric's property. Hermosa, how have I taught you? Are you saying that you got married just for Eric's money? Jessica stood by with a crutch, shedding tears. Hermosa, are you blaming me? Blaming me for snatching Eric as soon as I came back. Before she could finish, she was interrupted by our parents. Eric should have been your husband. If you hadn't been so willful and fled from the wedding, your child with Eric would already be old enough to run errands. Jessica loved Eric, but she loved dancing even more. Not long after accepting Eric's proposal, she received an offer from a renowned foreign dance troupe. She decisively left Eric and went abroad. Over the past 3 years, she had almost lost contact with Eric. Until one night, Eric's phone received an overseas call. He leaned against my shoulder to calm his breathing. He picked up the phone in front of me. Because I was close, I clearly heard a crying female voice on the other end of the phone. Eric froze. 1 second. 5 seconds. 10 seconds. It took a full 30 seconds for Eric to react. He quickly grabbed a bathrobe and left in big strides. That night, Eric didn't come back. The next day, I learned from my parents that Jessica had an accident while dancing and broke her leg. It was Eric who personally brought her back. Although she was living at my parents' house, Eric took care of everything related to Jessica personally. For this reason, my parents also specifically tried to talk me around. Don't take it to heart. Your sister can't dance anymore. She's feeling bad. And only Eric can comfort her. My parents had always favored Jessica since we were children. She was good-looking, had good grades, and most importantly, she was good at singing and dancing. While I was just a bookworm, boring and not good at flattering others, all of them revolved around the injured Jessica, including my husband. He gradually lost patience with me. That evening, he promised to pick me up, but he made me wait in the rain for 2 hours. I caught a cold from the rain and had a high fever. Eric had to put aside Jessica and go to the hospital to take care of me. But my mother thought it was a means for me to force Eric to come home. She hysterically shouted at me, "Just because you called Eric away. Your sister almost committed suicide last night. You're a healthy person. Why are you competing with a disabled person?" I looked at her in disbelief. But Eric is my husband now. So what? This marriage was originally hers. You stole her husband. But at the beginning, it was she who begged me to marry him. Before Jessica went abroad, she came to me and tried to persuade me to marry Eric. Hermosa, I know you like him. This is a good opportunity, isn't it? You don't want to see Eric with another woman, do you? I kept my head down and didn't say anything. Jessica got anxious. Do you want to see our family go bankrupt? I'm begging you, Hermosa. Or are you worried that I'll come back and snatch Eric from you? My expression changed slightly. She instead heaved a sigh of relief. Don't worry. I won't contact him again after going abroad. I swear. She did keep her promise for the first 3 years. But in the end, she also forgot the oath she had made. After getting the divorce certificate, I went south alone. I didn't contact my family for 3 years. Some time ago, they got in touch with me and told me that Eric and Jessica were going to get married. It was Jessica who called. Hermosa, come back and attend my wedding. Only when you're here will I not feel sorry for you. I was silent for a long time and then said, okay. The day I got home was a sunny and breezy day. As soon as I pulled my suitcase and entered the house, Jessica rushed out of the room. Hermosa. She had a light step. In the late autumn weather, she was only wearing a thin nightgown. Behind her, Eric came chasing after her with slippers and a coat in big strides. Why can't you ever remember to put on your shoes? If you do this again, I'll... His voice suddenly stopped. He saw me. This was the first time we had met since the divorce. Emotionally and rationally, I should greet him. I turned around and nodded slightly at him. After not seeing each other for 3 years, Eric still looked the same as I remembered. It's just that there was a bit less coldness in his eyes and a bit more tenderness. He nodded and then looked away, draping the coat over Jessica. You two talk. I'll go deal with some work. Jessica walked up to me, took my arm affectionately, and said, I was really afraid you wouldn't come back. We're going to try on the wedding dress tomorrow. Will you come with me? I expressionlessly pulled my hand away. I have something to do tomorrow. Jessica was unhappy. Is it very important? Yeah, it's very important. She thought for a while. Then let's change the time to the day after tomorrow. Come back early after you're done tomorrow. I'm not staying at home. I interrupted her. Tell Mom and Dad later. I'll be busy these days and won't be coming home. After saying that, I pulled my suitcase and left without looking back. I hadn't gone far when a car slowly stopped in front of me. The car window rolled down, revealing Eric's handsome face. Get in the car. I'll give you a ride. I distantly refused. Thank you. But no need. He was persistent. If I didn't get in the car, he would drive behind me. It's not easy to get a taxi here. Get in. Looking at the endless road, I finally gave in. After getting in the car, I told him the address. He frowned slightly. Why don't you live in Gold Bay? I don't like it. The house in Gold Bay was the one allocated to me during the divorce. But he didn't know that I had already sold it. Eric's eyes slightly narrowed, but he didn't ask further. When we arrived downstairs, I got out of the car, and Eric also got out. He picked up my suitcase and didn't seem to want to give it to me. Let's go. I can go up by myself. I tried to pull the suitcase but couldn't move it. He took a look around the environment. Are you having financial difficulties? This place was not just 2 grades worse than Gold Bay. No. He directly dragged the suitcase inside. Which building? Which floor? Eric is a very persistent person, and no one can change what he wants to do. I didn't insist anymore and silently led the way in front. We got in the elevator and went upstairs. Standing at the door of my home, I took the suitcase. Thank you. It's not convenient today, so I won't invite you in. Wait a moment. I turned around. Have you been doing well these past few years? Looking into his sincere eyes, I was in a trance for a moment. As I remembered, he had never spoken to me in such a tone before. Just as I was about to speak, the door suddenly opened from the inside. A tall and handsome man appeared in front of us without warning, with broad shoulders and a narrow waist, and a tall and slender figure. He was like a walking hormone. He stretched out his long arm and pulled me into his arms. "Why did you arrive so late?" "Huh." As he said that, he was about to kiss me. The moment his lips touched mine, Eric's angry voice sounded behind us. "What are you two doing?" But the man didn't stop at all. He gave me a deep kiss and then slowly looked at Eric while still holding me. But he was speaking to me. "How long was I gone? You've already found someone else. You really don't make people worry less." I pushed him, but he didn't budge. I could only look at Eric. "If there's anything, we can talk about it next time." Eric clenched his hand by his side into a fist, and his thin lips were tightly pursed. This was a precursor to his anger, but before he could explode, I was carried into the room. The door was closed. The man in front of me approached dangerously. "If I remember correctly, you were supposed to land at 11 o'clock. It's 2 p.m. now. In 3 hours. You've already met your ex-husband." I gently poked his strong waist. "Gavin." My hand was immediately held, and the man's deep voice said, "Don't try to muddle through this." I pinched the corner of his clothes and lowered my eyes without speaking. His big palm lifted my chin. The moment our eyes met, Gavin was so angry that he laughed. "I haven't even started dealing with you yet. Why are you crying?" I sniffled. "I missed you so much." After the divorce, I went south and opened a bed and breakfast in a small town. The small town was warm in winter and cool in summer, and the people around were simple and enthusiastic. In the process of getting along with them, my mood improved a lot. In less than a year, the reputation of my small courtyard gradually got better, and the business wasn't as bleak as it was at the beginning. Gavin was the most withdrawn among all the guests. Most of the time, he stayed alone in his room and didn't come out. He would only appear on the terrace when there were fewer people. At first, I was worried that something might happen to him and often subconsciously paid attention to his whereabouts. Until one day, I was sunbathing in the small courtyard, and he walked up to me and asked with a half-smile, "Do I really look like someone who is going to commit suicide?" I raised my eyes in surprise. He lay down on the rocking chair beside me, looking relaxed and lazy. "I heard you on the phone." I was immediately embarrassed. The previous night, I called my friend and mentioned Gavin. I said, "That guy is quite good-looking. It would be a pity if something happened to him." I didn't expect that Gavin had heard it. Just as I was feeling embarrassed, Gavin suddenly asked, "I don't think you're a local. Why did you decide to open a bed and breakfast here?" I made up an excuse. "I have too much money and nothing better to do." A low laugh escaped from his throat, and it sounded really nice. I couldn't help but look at him and saw a very pleasing scene. The man was resting his head on his arm and looking at the horizon. His jawline was clear and smooth, and his profile was as beautiful as a sculpture. Eric's looks were already outstanding, but Gavin was even more handsome. Probably sensing my gaze, he turned his head and met my eyes. I can't remember who looked away first, but I remember that from that day on, the atmosphere between us changed subtly. The day our relationship broke through, Gavin and I went hiking together. When we were coming down the mountain, the weather suddenly changed, and it started to rain heavily. We got back to the small courtyard, and we were all soaked. That night, I had a high fever. When I got up to take medicine, I broke a cup. Gavin broke the door down. I'm not sure if it was an illusion or a memory error, but I clearly saw a look of fear on his face the moment he entered the door. But the moment he saw me, he obviously relaxed. Sickness came on suddenly, and I lay in bed for 5 days. Gavin took care of me for those 5 days. He moved his musical instruments into my room, and that's when I found out that he was a singer. "Does that mean you're ready to leave at any time?" I asked, holding a cup of hot water. Instead of answering, he asked, "Do you want me to leave?" I remained silent. He took the cup from my hand and suddenly kissed me. His scorching breath burned every cell in my body. I clutched the corner of his clothes, and my heart almost jumped out of my chest. After that day, Gavin seemed to have become the new master of the small courtyard. Changing light bulbs and repairing tables and chairs became his tasks. The guests in the small courtyard often teased him, saying, "You're so good at housework. The beautiful boss should marry you soon." Every time, he would ask me, "When are you going to marry me?" I would always laugh it off. On the surface, he didn't seem to care, but when we were alone, he would find ways to pester me. Even if I pleaded for mercy, he wouldn't show any mercy. I thought such days would go on like this. But one day, Gavin suddenly disappeared. I asked the guests in the small courtyard, and they said, where else could he have gone? With looks like Gavin's and being in that circle, he probably left with a rich woman. And today, it was the first time I saw him again after his sudden departure. The more I thought about it, the more upset I became, and my tears flowed even more profusely. Gavin looked at me sideways, waiting for me to continue. But I didn't say anything, just kept crying. After a while, the man who had been looking furious just now resignedly held my face and said, I've really fallen for you. Then are you still leaving? Leave what? You're like this. How can I leave with peace of mind? I still didn't believe him, tired from crying. I also hugged him tightly and refused to let go. Helpless, he had to lie down with me. I slept very soundly. When I opened my eyes, Gavin was no longer by my side. I don't know when my phone was set to mute. There were 99 plus missed calls, and half of them were from Eric. In addition, the alumni group that had been silent for a long time suddenly became lively. It was Eric who sent a message saying that he wanted to hold an alumni association. If it's organized by Senior Eric, we must go. I heard that Gavin is back too. Let's invite him as well. Gavin, when did he come back? That's him. I'm a loyal fan of his and know his real-time whereabouts. It's said that this time he's back to propose to the girl he has been secretly in love with for 10 years. Just as I read this, my palm felt empty, and my phone was taken away. Gavin's handsome face loomed large in front of me. He ruffled my messy long hair. Did you sleep well? I shook my head and slowly moved onto his lap. I thought you wouldn't come. Before I came back, I sent him an email and told him the address. He didn't reply to me. I thought he was too busy to even check the email, but I didn't expect to see him as soon as I came back. It would be a lie to say that I wasn't surprised. But behind the surprise, there was also a shock. He pulled me into his arms. Are you angry? I hugged his waist and buried my face in his chest, not making a sound. He softened his voice. I left in a hurry that day and lost my phone, so I couldn't contact you in time. But I did contact you later. Don't be angry anymore. Okay. After he left, I was in an emotional abyss for a long time. When they said that he had been picked up by a rich woman, I really believed it. I couldn't get through to him on the phone, and he didn't reply to my WeChat messages. It was as if he had vanished into thin air. If he hadn't contacted me in time later, I would have called the police. I turned over in his arms and continued to ask, then why didn't you reply to my email? As soon as I received the email, I bought a plane ticket. I wanted to give you a surprise, but you gave me a shock instead. I suppose he was quite shocked when he saw me with Eric. I curved my lips, but I still haven't forgiven you. He lowered his head, and a dangerous aura instantly enveloped me. Then I'll have to use that method. I instinctively tried to run, but he grabbed my ankle and pulled me back. Despite his elegant appearance, Gavin was completely different in private. I pressed against his chest. Gavin, I just got off the plane. It's okay. I'll do the work, and you just need to be here. After this, it was already the early hours of the morning. I was hungry and tired and sulked in his arms. He seemed to be in a good mood and brought up the matter of the Alumni Association. A good friend of mine invited me. Will you come with me then? I deliberately provoked him. Eric will also be there. Aren't you afraid that something will happen between me and him? His hand gradually moved down along my waistline, and his handsome smile made my hair stand on end. You can give it a try. What a petty person. Gavin and I agreed to set off together. In the morning, he suddenly told me that he had something urgent to attend to and asked me to go first. Unexpectedly, as soon as I reached the door of the private room, I heard them still talking about me. The voices inside the private room continued, and they were getting more and more unpleasant. Amidst the noisy voices, I clearly caught Jessica's voice. She said, everyone knows that my sister Hermosa married Eric in my place. This 3-year marriage has had a great impact on her. I hope you won't make things difficult for her when she comes later. Jessica was used to saying nice things. If she really cared about my reputation, she would have stopped them when they started talking about me. But she didn't. Shall we talk? I don't know when Eric stood beside me. He was wearing a well-tailored suit, looking noble and eye-catching. There's nothing to talk about. I lowered my eyes and tried to bypass him. But unexpectedly, He anticipated my movement. He took a step with his long leg and blocked my way. Why didn't you answer my calls? I was busy. What were you so busy with that you couldn't answer my calls for several hours? I raised my eyes and looked at him steadily. I was with my boyfriend. There are many things we can do together. I don't know what he thought of, but his face tightened. Do you know who Gavin is? How can you be in a relationship with him? My gaze was calm. I didn't know who you were either, but I still married you. That's different. What's the difference? Before he could speak, I added, that's right. Gavin and I are in a relationship out of mutual consent. Probably because my tone was too sarcastic. Eric's face turned stiff. I turned around. As soon as I took a step, he grabbed my wrist. When did you start with Gavin? What does that have to do with you? I tried to break free from his hand, but the more I struggled, the tighter he held on. Hermosa, were you in such a hurry to divorce me back then because of him? I don't know what you're talking about. Let go. He didn't move at all. You can be with anyone, but not with him. Are you crazy? I kicked him on the tip of his foot. He winced in pain and let go. I took the opportunity to pull my hand back and stepped back several steps. You'd better focus on your wedding, brother-in-law. Eric's face instantly turned pale. His thin lips moved, but he didn't say a word. I admit that at that moment, I felt a sense of revenge, but this feeling quickly faded, replaced by an unprecedented sense of reason. Tell Jessica that I've paid off what I owed her. From now on, we don't owe each other anything. When I was a child, I secretly went swimming and almost drowned. Jessica saved me. I didn't even have a scratch. But Jessica lay in the hospital for a whole day before she woke up. Those were the most tormenting days of my life. My parents took turns scolding me, and all my relatives and friends looked at me with disappointment. After Jessica woke up, they wouldn't let me get close to her anymore. They not only transferred me to another school but also didn't allow me to apply to the same university as Jessica. 4 years later, they asked me to marry Eric in her place. I didn't want to. They said, you owe your sister your life. Not to mention marrying in her place. Even if we asked for your life, you shouldn't refuse. They also said, Eric is willing to marry you. And you're being picky. It's your good fortune that he agreed. He said, she said, they all said. But no one asked me if I wanted to get married. Hermosa, why don't you go in? Christina's voice brought me back to my senses. I smiled. I was just about to go in. She looked around. Why didn't Gavin come with you? He had something urgent to deal with and is on his way. Then let's go in. As soon as we entered, the voices inside stopped abruptly. Everyone's eyes were on me. Some sneered, some looked disdainful, and some showed sympathy. I calmly greeted the people I knew. Just as I was about to sit down with Christina, I heard Jessica's voice. Hermosa. She came over to take my hand. Let's sit over there. I expressionlessly pulled my hand away. I'll just sit with Christina. Jessica froze. Hermosa, are you still angry with me? Somehow, I suddenly had a bad feeling. Sure enough, the next second, her eyes turned red. It was my fault to ask you to sacrifice your reputation and marry Eric back then, but I've been trying to make up for it. What else do you want me to do for you to forgive me? I know that you and Eric were a married couple in name only for 3 years, and you've been wronged. But think about it. Did he treat you badly these years? Huh? What a so-called married couple in name only. All those years, he kept saying that he loved Jessica, but under the pretext of having a baby, he demanded intimacy every night. Looking at Eric's evasive expression, I suddenly laughed. Jessica forgot to cry for a moment. What are you laughing at? You two are really a perfect match. I stood up. Since you don't want to see me so much, there's no need for me to stay any longer. Christina immediately grabbed me. Don't go. Didn't Gavin ask you to wait for him here? As soon as she finished speaking, someone immediately picked up on it. What? Why did Gavin ask Hermosa to wait for him? Christina. Because Senior Gavin is Hermosa's boyfriend. After she said that, everyone burst into laughter. Stop joking. Who is Gavin and who is Hermosa? Boyfriend. Come on. Exactly. Besides, they're not even from the same class. You should have some basis when you lie. Okay. A divorced woman and a popular singer. You really have some nerve to think that. Christina rolled her eyes. That's why people only believe things within their own perception. Believe it or not. Jessica stopped crying. She came to persuade me. Hermosa, stop talking nonsense. Gavin is not someone you can dream of. You should go and apologize to them quickly, or you'll hurt everyone's feelings. Eric said in a deep voice. Gavin has a girl he has been secretly in love with for 10 years. He came back this time for that girl. Jessica. Yeah, Hermosa. You're not from our class, so you don't know about this. Gavin really liked her back then. Don't be silly. I know. I interrupted her. I not only knew about this but also knew who that girl was. Actually, at first, I really didn't know about this. Gavin hid it so well. When we met in the small town, I didn't recognize him, and he treated me like a stranger, until he left without saying goodbye. I would sit in the room he used to live in and stare blankly every day. He left a lot of things behind. I comforted myself that he would definitely come back. I packed his things then moved them to my room. Among the pile of items, I found a diary. It recorded all his secret feelings of love during his youth. That's when I realized that during those times when I was trapped, there was someone who had been paying attention to me silently. Jessica came to take my hand. Since you already know all this, then don't have anything to do with Gavin. I called you back this time because the family has arranged a marriage for you. The other family is in good condition, and the guy is an only son, unmarried. His character and appearance are also quite good. Then you. Christina couldn't stand it anymore. If the guy is really as good as you said, why don't you marry him yourself? Jessica's face became uneasy. I'm already engaged to Eric. Besides, all these years, I've never forgotten Eric. I nodded understandingly. So all these years, you've been thinking about your brother-in-law and only wanted to marry your brother-in-law. Is that how I should understand it? Instantly, the looks people gave Jessica became subtle. Jessica quickly explained, it's not like that. Eric and I, just as she was about to cry, Eric shouted sternly, that's enough. His thin lips were tightly pressed together, and his deep eyes stared intently at me. I'm the one who's sorry for you. Don't make things difficult for her. Christina was so angry. Eric, are you deaf and blind? Ever since we entered this room, it's been Jessica who's been causing trouble. Okay. Jessica looked tearful in Eric's arms. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. She has always been good at playing the innocent victim, and she still is. Everyone spoke up for her. I think Hermosa, you can't slander Jessica just because you're not satisfied. If you were capable, why would Eric have divorced you? Since you're divorced, you still say that Gavin is your boyfriend. Are you suffering from delusions? Just then, the door of the private room opened. Before I could see who it was, I heard a familiar voice say, if you have a mental problem, go see a doctor. Gavin, it's really Gavin. The person said to me triumphantly, did you hear that? He told you to go see a doctor. Unexpectedly, Gavin strode up to me and carefully examined my arms and legs. After seeing that there were no wounds on me, he let out a sigh of relief and turned to look at the person who had been making things difficult for me. Is it you who has been questioning her? The person clearly realized what was going on and stammered, unable to say anything. Someone stepped forward to smooth things over. It's all a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. As long as we make things clear. Right. But Gavin had no intention of letting it go. He looked at the person who had spoken again. A misunderstanding. I was just a little late. And you bullied my girlfriend like this. What did you do to bully her when I wasn't around? None of the alumni present dared to answer. Except for Jessica. Gavin, don't blame them. It's all my fault. Gavin, since you know it's your fault, why don't you apologize? Jessica froze. Eric frowned. That's enough. We're all classmates. There's no need to make things so tense. It was as if Gavin had just noticed that Eric was there. He raised his eyebrows. Hey, isn't this the ex-husband? What? Are you here to ask for a reconciliation? Everyone widened their eyes and looked at each other in surprise. No one dared to make a sound. Eric's face was tense. What are you talking nonsense about? Jessica and I are getting married. Oh. Gavin's gaze fell on Jessica again, and he suddenly sneered. When you were chasing me back then, you said Eric was boring. Why? Can't you find someone better now and want to marry him? As soon as these words were spoken, the whole room fell silent. Jessica's face turned as pale as paper. Eric's face was uglier than anyone else's. Gavin, stop slandering others. Gavin snorted softly. She knows better than anyone whether it's slander or not. He gave Jessica a meaningful look, then glanced at Eric and clicked his tongue. I'm saying, Eric, didn't you investigate what she did during those 3 years abroad? What do you mean? Just go and find out. Gavin took my hand. I'm not in the mood tonight. so I won't stay. Have a good time, everyone. We went downstairs and got into the car. But Gavin didn't start the engine. Aren't you usually sharp-tongued with me? Why are you so silent today? He had a stern face, looking very fierce, and didn't look at me. I leaned over, held his face, and turned it towards me. Are you angry? A little bit. I kissed him. Don't be angry. Okay. He was so angry that he laughed. Do you think you can coax me like this? I thought for a while, then got up and straddled his lap. A hint of darkness flashed in his clear eyes, and he didn't move, letting me do as I pleased. At a crucial moment, he held my hand. His voice was hoarse. Let's go home first. The space is too small. I can't do what I want. He put me back in the passenger seat. Just as he started the car, my phone rang. It was my mom. As soon as I answered the phone, she started scolding me. What's wrong with you? Why are you helping an outsider bully your sister? Your sister's emotions have been unstable since she couldn't dance. Why did you provoke her again? Also, what's your relationship with that Gavin? Break up with him as soon as possible. I don't agree with you being with him. She kept talking. Every word was a question to me. I held the phone away from my ear. When I could barely hear her voice, I brought it closer again. Hermosa, come back to me right now. This instant, I said calmly. I won't go back. The voice on the other end suddenly rose. What did you say? I said, I won't go back. There was no place for me in that home anymore. I hung up the phone and looked at Gavin. Dare to get married. He seemed to be lost in thought and didn't react at first. What? Gavin, would you like to marry me? Getting married comes with a bed and breakfast as a bonus. He only hesitated for a moment, then stepped on the accelerator. Don't regret it. When I got home, Jessica was crying and complaining pitifully. I'm really not familiar with Gavin, and I don't know why he's targeting me. Eric, believe me, we were together in high school and university. You know my feelings for you best. How could I like him? Eric hugged her tenderly. I believe you. You're not that kind of person. Jessica said again. I met him a few times abroad. He will definitely bring this up again. You mustn't believe him. I know. Jessica was about to say something more when she suddenly saw me. She walked up to me. Hermosa, you're finally back. I told Mom and Dad about the situation, and they don't blame you. I raised my eyebrows. Oh, you must have been deceived by Gavin. You'd better have less contact with him in the future. My mom said angrily. Since your sister said it's that Gavin's problem, just don't see him in the future. I let out a sigh. That might not be possible. You still want to have something to do with him. I took out the marriage certificate from my bag. Gavin and I got married. What? What did you say? Jessica snatched the marriage certificate away. The next second, she let out a scream. Why? How could you get married and get a marriage certificate with him? Does he have some proof in your hands? She stared intently at the photo on the marriage certificate, as if trying to find some flaw. It's impossible. How could he take a fancy to you? He didn't even like me when I'm better than you. How could he marry you? You must have done something. She kept talking to herself and didn't notice at all that Eric's face was gradually turning pale. My mom noticed it. She snatched the marriage certificate and threw it into the trash can. It's just a fake certificate. Even if it's real, it doesn't matter. If she wants to get married, let her. You have Eric. And that's enough. Probably the word, Eric, woke Jessica up. Jessica came to her senses and said, yes, I have Eric. I still have Eric. She reached out to take Eric's hand, but Eric avoided it. Jessica looked at him slowly. Eric. Eric's face was cold, and he turned and left. Jessica realized something later and turned pale. She chased after him in a hurry. Eric. Eric. Listen to me and explain. Her voice gradually faded away. My mom gave me a look of disgust. I should have known better than to call you back. As soon as you came back, you caused so much trouble. I followed her words. Don't be annoyed. I'll leave early tomorrow morning. She finally looked at me. Aren't you going to attend your sister's wedding? No, I'm not. I didn't come back this time to attend the wedding. It was to deal with the old matters and completely break off the connection with this city. She didn't try to keep me, and I didn't want to stay either. At night, the video of Gavin protecting his wife at the Alumni Association quietly made it onto the trending list. Someone recognized that it was Jessica. It's that woman. My friends abroad have all hung out with her. She's really wild. At her best, she was with 5 guys at once. She's really something. I know her too. She's a senior from our university. I was there the day she confessed to Gavin. She was rejected. But I heard that she broke her leg and ended her dancing career. She's quite pitiful. Let's be kind with our words. Broke her leg. I heard that she couldn't make it abroad and came back to get married. She tried so hard to get into a circle she didn't belong to but failed. I have to say that Brother Che has a good eye. He rejected her in university. Am I the only one who noticed the hand that Brother Che was holding? Could it be the rumored sister-in-law? I'm not sure. Waiting for the follow-up. When I saw the news that the Clarence family called off the engagement, I was already on my way south. Gavin said he had something to deal with and would meet me at the small town after he was done. As soon as I arrived at the small courtyard, I received a call from Christina. Her voice was excited. Hermosa. Look at Gavin's Twitter. My heart skipped a beat, and I quickly opened Twitter. I found that Gavin was on the trending list. Hashtag Gavin's secret love hashtag. Hashtag Gavin's 10 years hashtag. Hashtag Miss Doodoo. Will you marry me? Hashtag Miss Doodoo was me. It was a nickname Gavin gave me. A nickname that only existed in his diary. I tremblingly clicked on his latest Twitter post. It was a confession video. From the time we met 12 years ago to now stepping into the wedding hall. I just realized that he had collected so many photos of me over the years. During the days when we didn't contact each other. During the days when I was married to someone else. He still kept all the photos of me from the past 10 years in good condition. At the end of the video, he said, originally, I planned to propose at the end of the video, but I couldn't record it well after several attempts. Fortunately, she proposed to me. The video attached our marriage certificate. We're married. Under that Twitter post, there were many blessings. The comment with the most likes was, I no longer have the feeling of being moved, but I always envy other people's love. Gavin replied, I also thought I would be heartless, but she was beyond my expectations. This reply received a lot of likes. I also liked it. Soon, Gavin called. Did you arrive? Yeah, I just got here. Did you see the trending news? The corners of my mouth turned up. No, little liar. Do you really think I don't know that you sneaked into my fan group with a fake account? I was extremely embarrassed. When did you know? Guess. As he spoke, he let out a heavy sigh. I already miss you just after we separated. What should I do? I couldn't stop the smile on my face. Then come over now. Okay. Wait for me. I thought he was just saying it. Who would have thought that he would appear at the small courtyard in the evening? I stared at him in a daze. He approached with a smile. Are you stunned? You. Why are you? Are you all done with your work? Yeah, it's all done. Then, when are you leaving? Gavin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You want me to leave just after I got back? I'm not leaving. I won't leave from now on. I just thought he was just trying to comfort me. Until 3 months later, Eric appeared at my small courtyard. He looked much more haggard. During these 3 months, he had gone through a lot of things. For example, Jessica refused to agree to cancel the wedding and went to the Clarence family's house to cause trouble every now and then. Eric avoided seeing her. So Jessica went to his company to make a scene. Suddenly, for a period of time, she stopped causing trouble. Last month, Jessica took a pregnancy test report to the Clarence family's house. Eric was the only son in the family. And during the 3 years of our marriage, we didn't have any children. So the Clarence family used this child to force Eric to marry her. Eric wasn't completely stupid. He coaxed Jessica into doing an amniocentesis and found out that the child wasn't his. From then on, there was no possibility for Jessica and Eric. During this period, my mom called me a few times, and between the lines, she wanted me to help Jessica again. I pretended to be stupid and hung up the phone in a hurry after chatting for a few words. Later, she didn't contact me anymore. According to Christina, Jessica gave birth to the child and then ran away. No one knew where she had gone. It was a child with blonde hair and blue eyes. My parents were taking care of the child. Eric stepped forward a little nervously and greeted me. How have you been? I've been fine. He looked around the environment of the small courtyard. The environment here is nice. And you're running it well. Thank you. Since he was a guest, I couldn't neglect him and planned to make him a pot of tea. Unexpectedly, as soon as I stood up, Gavin rushed out of the room. Didn't I tell you not to move around? The doctor said you need to pay special attention within 3 months. If you need anything, call me. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I'm not that delicate. Yes, you are. If you and the baby get tired because of an irrelevant person, What should I do? As soon as he finished speaking, I heard Eric say in disbelief, "You're pregnant." He stared at my belly, his face full of shock. Gavin squinted his eyes and stood in front of me, blocking Eric's view. "Is it polite for you to stare at my wife's belly? Can't you go home and look at your own wife's belly?" Before Eric could speak, he added, "Oh, you don't have a wife." I tugged at Gavin's sleeve, signaling him to stop. Unexpectedly, he casually held my hand and intertwined his fingers with mine. "Sorry, Ariane is fully booked. If you want to stay overnight, you can try other places." Eric suddenly said, "You gave up a great future and came to such a small place. Are you willing?" Gavin laughed softly. "The future is important, but I can't bear to leave someone behind." Only then did I realize how much Gavin had sacrificed to stay here. At night, I tossed and turned and sighed frequently. "Gavin, you're really a hopeless romantic. What should I do then?" The corners of his mouth were curved into a smile. "What else can I do? I chose my husband myself, so I have to spoil him." Excerpts from Gavin's diary. June 10th, 2012. Sunny. There was a class graduation party. It was noisy and annoying. There was a girl sitting beside me. She didn't say a word and just focused on eating. I asked her, "Are you a pig?" She gave me a fierce glare. "You are. Your whole family is." "Hey, you're not from our class, are you? Where did you come from?" "Just here to eat and drink for free." I pretended to drag her out, and she was so scared that she hid behind Eric. TSK. So boring. August 25th, 2012. Sunny. I saw that girl again. At the airport. She was there to see Eric off. The little girl was smiling happily 1 second, and then she gave me a cold look the next. Little thing. She really holds a grudge. October 1st, 2012. Cloudy. She came to pick someone up at the airport. I finally found out her name, but I gave her a nickname. Miss Doodoo. She looks really cute when she pouts. January 30th, 2014. Heavy snow. New Year's Eve. I invited her to build a snowman, and she didn't refuse. Is this considered our first date? February 14th, 2015. Sunny. Miss Doodoo. I'm waiting for you to grow up. May 2nd, 2015. Cloudy. She seems to have something on her mind. There was an emergency at home, and I didn't have time to ask her about it. August 20th, 2015. Sunny. She applied to another school. I'm not happy about it. Even more annoying is that her sister confessed to me. Does anyone think they're good enough to confess to me now? February 14th, 2016. Cloudy. I went to her school. She didn't have a boyfriend. That's great. December 25th, 2017. Cloudy. She was really happy when she received my gift. It's a pity she didn't know it was from me. Jessica said she likes Eric. What bad taste. August 17th, 2018. Sunny. Why can't she just take a look at me? I really want to ruin Eric's face. July 6th, 2019. Heavy rain. I had a fight with Eric. I told him to stay away from her. He laughed at me, saying I was a coward and didn't dare to confess my love. August 8th, 2019. Cloudy. They got married after all. May 6th, 2022. Sunny. They finally got divorced. This time, I will never miss her again. February 14th, 2025. Cloudy. Thank God. Thank fate. And thank myself. She has finally become my wife. I will spend my whole life loving and protecting her. The end.